Hi, this is Stephen Turner with Turner Time Management, and really excited to be here with you today to show you how you can boost your sales effectiveness with Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is a session specifically tailored to aim our sales professionals and how you can start reclaiming your time and close more business using Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Chat. You see the QR code in the lower left corner, lower right corner rather. You can scan that if you want to connect with me beyond today's session. Today we're going to be talking about generative AI and specifically Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Chat. So a couple of things to remember. First of all, is that Gen AI is not intelligent at all. It's really imitation intelligence. It's a program. In fact, it's so developed in such a way that even AI leaders admit that they don't fully understand it and how it works. And furthermore, over reliance on AI can actually degrade your cognitive capabilities, which means it's very important that we use it responsibly. And so, one of the keys in our recommendation is to use Copilot to extend your capabilities and skills rather than replace them. So using it as a cognitive amplifier rather than a cognitive replacer. And so as we look at AI and specifically Copilot, one of the things that's really exciting about it is that unlike the other third-party LLM chat tools that are out there, it's actually fully integrated into your Microsoft network and your Microsoft operating area. So it's integrated into things like Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, and more, designed to enhance your productivity. I used a number of these slides. These were done via AI. And you see, unlike the past, where when you used AI, it might have came out and said IA on the image there on the left. But now Copilot is getting better and better. And a lot of the sort of the remedial areas you might have seen a long time ago. When we say a long time ago, I mean just literally months ago, are now gone and cleared up. There's also a more advanced version of Copilot Chat, which is called Microsoft 365 Copilot. We'll get into those differences here in a couple minutes, that now include what's called Claude. That's and from Anthropic, and that's the newest product that's being inputted into or put into the Copilot suite of offerings so that you can do multitask processes immediately without having to wait, and you can use natural language prompts to accomplish those things. And then on the Copilot Premium as well, you get a full ability to look at your previous discussions, emails, meetings, etc., and get real-time information back immediately on all those meetings where that might take you quite a bit of time. Now, the biggest key for Copilot and why you should use it versus some of these other tools is that it has enterprise data protection built in. That means any type of information you're putting in, whether it be a prompt or expanding upon a previous prompt, is all going to be protected similar to what your email and your files are in Microsoft 365 when you're using Outlook or let's say SharePoint or OneDrive. That's all enterprise data protected. We're going to show you where that is in the Copilot app so that you'll know that you're always enterprise data protected, because there's also a free version of Copilot that does not offer that data protection. So that's different than these third-party tools that are out there. And it's the idea that other tools train on your data if you don't check the box or have the ability to turn off that training. In Copilot 365, the default is that it's not training on your data and it won't do that. So some other keys to consider is that Copilot is not a future tool. It's here today, right now. In fact, in my instance of Microsoft 365 Copilot, I just got the ability yesterday to now create Copilot presentations using Claude within Microsoft 365 and specifically PowerPoint, which is a huge benefit because now you can take and change slides, change fonts, add pictures with slides individually, as well as do the whole presentation to a degree that the previous Copilot didn't give you that type of flexibility or capability. So again, we're going to show you right here where you're going to use the Copilot in the Microsoft 365 suite, and make sure you're using the full version or the Copilot 365 versus the free one. We're also going to talk about the fact that when you do use Copilot, you can also use in the premium version the ability to record meetings. So you want to take those third-party ancillary tools, if they're not sanctioned by you or the company you're working with on a Teams meeting, to remove those other third-party tools like Read.ai if nobody brought it in, or fireflies.ai, so that you're using the Copilot tool, because it's going to bring that information into your environment and not risk it getting out. So it's a very secure situation. So let's go ahead and show you first the full version of Copilot. You'll see down here has a little Microsoft 365 logo on it. And when I open it up, it says in the upper left corner, Microsoft 365 Copilot. And then you'll see in the upper right corner, very important point, this little shield here, this green shield, tells me that I'm enterprise data protected. Now, if I'm not enterprise data protected, then I'm using the free version of Copilot that comes with your computer. And that looks very similar. But when I open it up, you'll see there's no enterprise data protection up here in the upper right corner. So that means your data can be used to train the LLM. So having this full version of Copilot is very useful. And if you have it's going to fit into all these different apps that you have on your computer and your smartphone, so that you can use it anywhere on your device. And the whole idea is that when you start leveraging AI in these different pillars, as we call them, the 7 silos or the pillars of productivity, you can use it to analyze your calendar and make recommendations. Use it to review your email and ask it to tell you the top 5 emails you need to respond to now. Contacts, note taking, Rep Fabric, which I know a number of you use as your CRM, has AI tools in it as well. You can use Copilot in creating a Microsoft planner and creating specific instructions through using the AI features, analyzing files with OneDrive and SharePoint locations with Copilot, and of course using also Copilot in Teams. All these things are available to you when you have the Copilot premium features. So as we talk about the different things to consider, one of the great things is the new access point Microsoft has given us for Copilot, which is the Windows C. If you press the Windows key and the letter C, that brings up Copilot anywhere on your computer. And as you can see, I'm in my presentation right now, and I still get the ability to know what my next one-on-one call is at, which is just coming up in a few minutes, what emails need urgent replies, or I can even upload files right from here. So Windows C will be a great way to start using Copilot more in depth right away. So leverage that Copilot feature through that. There's also what's called Real Talk, which is this little icon down here. This is only available in the premium Copilot, which is an added cost. The free version of Copilot 365, there's no cost to it, obviously, but this would give you the ability to talk to it on your phone, conversational AI on your phone or your computer or tablet. And so keep in mind that as you start to roll out Copilot across your company, that you want to keep in mind establishing some SOPs for its use and an AI usage policy for all employees or subcontractors. So you make sure you consolidate your usage to this one super powerful tool, which is well positioned to continue to grow and provide more features. It's been amazing to me. I've been using it since the start to see the progression of how well it's being developed by Microsoft. So there's other things you can do, and we'll talk about in a future session, how you can use the firm to create things like Copilot, use the tools to create Copilot agents for follow-up communications, product comparisons, uploading files, and getting cross-references very quickly. And as we mentioned earlier, don't use this to replace your cognitive capabilities. And as you can imagine, AI doesn't fix bad habits. It merely scales or amplifies them. So what's your next move? Here's some things to consider if you have Copilot or Copilot Chat. And we're going to leave these up on the screen for a moment. Whether you be an outside rep, an inside sales professional, sales manager, operations person, or customer service, no matter what your role, there's some great tools that you can use within Copilot. And the first thing to do is start playing with it and brainstorming with it, kind of work with it and see the areas. Here's some great ideas to get started with so that you can start leveraging the tool more successfully. So to get started with it in depth, the first thing to do is to upload the Copilot instructions, which I'm going to show you where they're at in just a moment. And then just start with one habit. So let's go ahead and use Copilot right now to create custom instructions. So I'm going to go down to my Copilot tool down here. And when I go up here to my settings, you'll see here that I have the ability to go to personalization. And under my custom instructions, edit instructions, I have some instructions I've already loaded up here that talks about me and about my company and about what I'm focused on. Uh, Formal, professional, respectful tone, all these things put in here. I was able to use Copilot by just putting in some basic information about me and my role and then asking it to generate the Copilot instructions for Microsoft. And I went ahead and did that. And I was able to put those in right away. And if you want to get more advanced, there's things like the CRIT framework available that can help you take your Copilot instructions even to a greater level. But just loading up those instructions is very important to getting started with Copilot and get better responses instead of having to put it in a very, very detailed prompt, which most people do when they're using the third-party tools. And then finally, discuss internally whether more in-depth upskilling, training, and coaching would help. We do provide those services. You can check that out on turnertimemanagement.com to take not just your use of AI to the next level, but your entire organization from a productivity standpoint. So some final considerations to think about. Normally, the edict is don't tell chatbots anything you wouldn't want them to know on a billboard. And so your chatbot enterprise through Microsoft 365 is enterprise data protected. So you don't have to have that concern. That's no longer a worry. We recommend consolidating third-party AI usage to Microsoft 365 Copilot or Chat. Consider a third party, or consider rather a AI infused CRM. RepFabric has things like automatic email AI follow-ups and activity journal creation, very useful features. And your data insights through a partner that many of you already work with, such as BBB Techs for working with Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. And then we do have a number of programs available. And so that's a summary on what's available to you out of the gates. Also want to mention, just to kind of take a quick look at Excel, I just put some sample data in Excel and I asked this file here to be analyzed. And all I had to do was put in a very simple plain English prompt and it gave me a detailed inventory analysis. This is what Copilot created through the use of the Claude feature through the Anthropic tool, which is now integrated into Microsoft 365 Copilot. It did this in about 30 seconds. So analysis for files has become super easy with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Instead of taking hours, it literally takes moments. So thanks again for your time and scan the code if we can be of further service to you. Bye for now.